أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن كل شيء خلقنا زوجين لعلكم تذكرون ففروا إلى الله إني لكم منه نذير مبين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Adib Ahmad. I'm living in Afghanistan, and I want to, if you can, explain these verses of the Holy Qur'an, where Allah says, "And all things we have created in pairs, that happily you may reflect them." This is a verses from the Holy Qur'an. So, to the human mind, creation in pairs provides a reason for mental as well as spiritual reflection. It provokes thought about the nature of creation. It is a clue to spirituality. The Quran reveals the fact of pairs in all component of creation. It further points out that this will help in bringing about reflection. Pondering can be both in the biophysical world as well as in the spiritual world. Everyday observation of the material and mental phenomena presents a huge variety of complementary occasion in the form of natural objects like air, water, soil, the plants, vegetables, flowers, insects, animals, and the heavenly world of clusters of stars. The mental world of thought, emotion, and values is immense in itself. The abundance present a perplexing plurality. The universe speaks to us as a multiverse. This enriches our experience. Nature is multifunctional. It provides material comfort, enhance our mental capacities, and stimulates an awareness of new situations. The purposefulness of life is enriched. So experience aims at the discovery of reality. In fact, the only means to reality is experience. It becomes meaningful when we arrive at a unifying principle by correlating the puzzling plethora of different entities. Mind seeks relations, laws, systems, and other in the vast plurality of events that it comes across. This is the only way to make experience intelligible. Both physics and metaphysics are, are engaged in reaching human knowledge through the discovery of more and more comprehensive views of the diversity of existence. We move towards unification as well as manifoldness. In general, one comes across pairs of creation with an apparent opposition between them. Creation presents polarity everywhere. This provokes a desire for resolution of the opposite. Theoretically, the poles appear autonomous, and man tries to improve his knowledge by studying one pole in isolation of the other. A deeper study shows that things are different from what they show in sense experience. A single pole cannot be studied adequately as detached from the other pole. The opposites are in some sense interlinked and interdependent. Metaphysics, which has been deeply influenced by the religious thought of the world, has very often based itself on the unity of all reality. Religion believes in the common origins of the whole of creation. The concept of God as Lord of the whole world, that is Rabbil Alameen, admits of a corollary 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 that all existence is born of one creative will because there is one creator. Excuse me for sometimes a word when I talk, sometimes the word is not coming properly. That is corollary, that all existence is born of one creative will because there is one creator. Coming to the paired nature of the component of creation, experience shows that several poles not only coexist but are complementary. They must remain in pairs. As an example of the polar opposite, there is light and darkness, corresponding to day and night. Although day and night appear to be autonomous in themselves, yet a study of only one of them to the total exclusion of the other is meaningless. In addition, we have visible light and invisible rays showing multiple polarity. Experimentation is a powerful technique in the advance of science for reaching final conclusion. Yet in the study of the propagation of light, we have to oscillate between contrary views about its inferences, which are a peculiar kind of before. Nature abounds in opposition. We have summer and winter, hot and cold, dry and wet, slow and fast, rest and motion, analysis and synthesis, change and stability, hard and soft, up and down, and so on. The smallest structural unit of matter are the electrons and the protons. These have opposite charge, negative and positive. What does positivity and negativity convey to the mind? It is only a nomenclature. Nomenclature and discrimination of the force of attraction and repulsion, irrespective of their nature, the negative and the positive charges exist in full harmony. Biological world to conform us with its bipolarity, there is plurality in basic unity. A single self in the body of the female after fertilization multiplies to billion to achieve one goal, to form one individual with thousands of organs, each performing a different function. The biological world also presents the phenomenon of anabolism and catabolism, of analysis and synthesis, of absorption and excretion process, of growth and decay, of the male and the female, etc. The most obvious of all the opposite in the biological world is the fact of life and death connected with creation and destruction. We see stimulus and response, health and disease, growth and decay, all around in animals as well as plants. Looking at the astral world, we found the orbital motion of the heavenly bodies presenting to us attraction and repulsion, acceleration of speed and its retardation, illumination and darkness, the birth and death of stars, weight and negativity of weight, the formation and explosion of pulsar, matter and energy. There is the great process of energy passing into a condition of non-availability, energy changing into non-energy. In the realm of mind, we see the psychological world to saturated with apparent contradictories. There is love and hate, hope and frustration, energy and fatigue, peace and anxiety, calm and disturbance, anger and pleasure, nature and nurture, intelligence and dullness, conflict and harmony, aggression and passivity, sleep and waking state, pain and happiness, wisdom and folly, and so on. We have an urge to dominate or to submit. Both these urges are channelized best in the form of domination of men over the earth and the heaven, and the submission of man to the divine moral law. To the divine moral law. So such a fulfillment will produce a balance to the greatest advantage of man. Ethics as a science of moral values has its roots in religions. It deals with the conflicting problems of good and evil, true or false, right and wrong, free will and determinism. The theory of the relativism in morals ends only in chaos. It has misled many. So, Jazakallah. We can continue like this to explain about these verses, but for the time being, if you have not so satisfied, you can ask some question again. Inshallah, I will continue to, because we can talk. It is a small verses, but to make a big commentary so that you can understand, and many the humanity at large and all my brothers and sisters in Islam can understand the explanation of these verses. Jazakallah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.